Very good, very good. I think there's a lot of traffic on 301.
Hey, how you doing? Eric Davis.
James Proctor III, how are you?
Oh, nice to meet you.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
yes, looking
yeah.
forward to it.
Thank you.
Yes. This is good. This series. Well, we normally have more people in here, but this is one of the first ones that we've had where it hasn't been like teachers and administrators. So this is going to be a new part of the series.
So, do you think it's just, like you said, traffic or just?
It's traffic, and I don't know if we're competing with game night because there would usually be at least 20 or 30 students over here.
Okay, okay.
And then there would be people, and I know that my sister and I certainly invited half the known universe on LinkedIn and Twitter and all these other things.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. All right. Yeah, ready to roll.
Curious on the lights too. Are these a 150s or 300s? 300? Okay. No. Okay. See, when I was a little older than you are now.
Yeah, I met your brother. Yeah.
You're all mic'd up.
I'm all mic'd up.
So we can't share any secrets.
That's right.
Now.
That's right. That's right.
Let me get you in the speaker. All right, me and the speaker. I like this.
All right. Okay. Hey. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Put them out, take a disposable camera, click it,
Hey.
fire off the slave with the little, I don't know if you've ever seen it, disposable paper camera. And you fire it off with the flash.
Hello. How you doing? Hey, good to see you. Eric Davis.
Hi, nice to see you. Welcome. It's good
Thank
to have
you.
you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Looking forward
Hello.
to your lecture.
Thank you. Eric Davis.
Your picture, I mean, some people look a little different, but you are your picture.
Thank you.
You look like you.
You look like me.
Thank you.
That isn't always the case. I've taken some bad ones myself.
Oh,
You've been on our campus before, right?
never.
Oh, you have.
It's my first time.
Well, welcome. It's
Yeah,
good to have
thank you.
here.
It's beautiful.
It
Absolutely
really is.
beautiful.
We're so proud of it, and it looks especially lovely at this time of the season.
Oh, I bet. Yes, yes.
So we have about 6,400 students
Okay.
here and growing.
Wow.
New buildings going up.
That's
and
amazing.
A lot of great excitement. So I hope we'll get more students to come in. They're a little stressed right now
Sure.
around this time of the year.
Totally understand.
So it's just good to have you here.
Thank you.
Especially for this very important program for us.
Yeah, yeah. You know, when Dr. Foose mentioned it to me, I thought, wow, this is fantastic that you all do this every month.
Yeah, we had, this is the first year we're doing it every month.
Okay.
Before we just did an annual
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
seminar, and so they're trying something different because there's so many topics that we should be hitting on.
So many.
When you look at what's happening with education, there's a shortage of teachers, but
Yeah.
just there's so many other related wraparound services
Yes.
and mental health
Yes.
and everything. So there are a lot of topics we should be addressing.
Absolutely. Well, you've got the forum for it. So
I'll look forward to hearing.
thank you. Thank you.
Since it looks like we have a minute, I'm going to tell you a story that makes.
You do have a minute, Dr. Brown.
Ah,
Hello, how are you? How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you for coming.
Oh, of course. I'm hoping that some class is coming in. Get them in.
Okay, so I will tell you a story now.
Oh,
that
is
will
that
make
what
Forrest Gump seem like a documentary. So, my instructor was in the Marine Corps. And so, at the 100th anniversary of Dallas, gave the Marines cameras. Weren't really skilled at it, but we just kind of gave them a prick fit, whole bunch of cameras.
I did, okay, all right. I didn't realize this was your mother. Okay.
Now, how are we going to turn you off?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I
You
think
know how they say the president didn't know his mic was on.
look, I went out to the restroom and I told them specifically, make sure you come.
I hear you, but you can still, I think you're still. This is my mother. This is Eric Davis. This is our Dr. Eric Davis. Is our speaker tonight, and he's a MCPS colleague.
Yeah, we used to
former
work together
MCPS
back in MCPS. It seemed like it was just yesterday, but it's awesome.
I know you've written a book. What else are you doing? You're not in Montgomery County.
No, I'm in Harford County Public Schools. Yeah, Chief of Administration there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Thank you all for having me.
Where the speaker is sitting, he may be sitting up there. Would you like to sit? With Dr. Proctor? Dr. Proctor? Yes.
Yes.
You can sit
I'm
there.
just taking off my
Oh,
coat.
no
I'm all
problem.
bundled up here.
Mom, you stay in the Marine Corps, we'll pay for it, right? Goes out to film school. Stephen, everybody knew he was the best one in the class. He couldn't turn in his work on time. The teacher's always been the rule 1-5. He knows he's the best one in the class. Everybody knows. So finally, Stephen Spielberg turns in his paper. Oh, okay. He does. Yeah. So he ends up in film school with Steven Spielberg. So like I said, from just having the wrong camera, not even really knowing how to we're sharing roller skates. He's got them all the way through the Marine Corps. He became a professional photographer, and after he retired, he taught courses in different colleges at that time. And so that's like I said, yeah, like I'm telling a documentary. I don't believe it, boy. I mean, all right. You get shot with dogs. And comes up with this rap. And life is I forgot what everybody said here. Life is about chocolate. Anyway, how we mess up the food. There's a whole thing about that. And I will say, even though I'm 61 years old, I was today years old when I realized that minus 40 degrees Celsius and minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit are the same. Yes. You would think that even with the mask, that's the only one where it's 20, it's like 14. But that is the only one where they're actually the same. Put it in there. Put in minus 40.
Oh. We got people coming in now. Yeah. It takes them a little while. That's all right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
So a little late, we catch up.
No, it's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
That was all when I was looking. I wasn't.
I thought my nephew was coming out here without getting out of the train. They actually didn't believe
Hey, how are you? Hey, good to see you.
Yeah, mine's a little bigger. Okay. Did you ever think about getting Nah, I haven't thought about it, but
Yes, about 3 classes.
Hello. How you doing?
Dr. Barito.
Eric Davis. Nice to meet you. You too.
Education.
Thank you. Thank you.
TLPD. Teaching, Learning, and Professional Development.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you. I'm
You're the speaker?
Yeah, I'm speaker. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where are you from?
Harford County Public Schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Teaching.
All right.
So I need to get your card.
Yes, we will. We'll definitely connect after this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Yes, it is wonderful. Not the people that I thought that were going to be here, but they're coming in slowly but surely.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. You know, it's okay to start a little late and let folks come on in. Yeah. Yeah, and
So
somebody
how
said
long-
the traffic was
what
bad out
county are
there.
you?
Harford County.
Hartford, how do you like it?
Love it. Yeah,
Yeah?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I've been
so-
there 5 years now.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've traveled around a lot in my career. I've been in 3 states, 4 different school districts,
What were you doing there?
everything. Yeah, I've been a teacher all the way from principal to
Okay.
to the position I'm in now, chief of administration.
Okay. Well, I was a teacher at one time.
Yeah.
Then assistant principal, and I was recruited by the president to be the union rep for the teachers of the District of Columbia.
That's awesome.
So I'm union.
That's amazing.
Yes. And I work for the president, Nathan Saunders,
Okay.
WTU, AFL-CIO, local number 6.
Okay. Okay.
AFT.
Wow.
And it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Thank
you
so
too.
much for being here.
Yeah, no,
I'm
this
just
is
making my rounds to say hello to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you meet Dr. Bro?
Who's Dr.
She's our
Brown?
president here.
Yes, I did. I
Okay.
did. Yes, yes, I
And,
did.
and that's Miss Proctor in the orange jacket.
Okay. Yes, I did. Yeah, met her.
That's Miss Sherry in the yellow African dress.
I think
Did
I've
you
met
meet
her too. I think I've met her
Yes.
too. Yeah.
This is Dr. Coleman.
Met him. Yeah,
That's
he's
Dr.
yeah.
Jetta.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's our provost, Dr. Amusu, with the
Okay.
mask on over there.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, you got everybody here.
And you met Dr. Amusu?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't know this gentleman.
Yeah, I think that's Stephanie Proctor's brother.
Okay. Yes. See?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Hey, look, I just I pay attention.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen him before. That's right. That's exactly who it is.
Mhm.
And all the rest of the people are sitting in the back. They need to come down towards the front. Not sitting in the back. Start in 5 minutes.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Eric Davis.
Carlos Hampton.
All right, nice
Saw
to
the
meet you.
picture and looking forward to the seminar.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, great to be here.
All right, I didn't want to move it because it seemed like it was already.
Yeah.
Now you know I didn't even look there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're celebrating education all over the country. I've talked to some of my friends who are deans, and they're telling me about the activities that they're having. So we're really excited that Dr. Eric Davis is coming to be with us this evening for our American Education Week program. This is the second lecture of the Proctor Lecture Series. And so we are doing a book club-like event, and so Dr. Davis is going to talk about his book, and I am very excited about him being here. I want you to know education is a wonderful field. People sometimes don't say the best things about education, but that's because they don't know the secret. No. This is an opportunity to touch students, an opportunity to touch lives, an opportunity to make a real difference. I see students that I've taught from before, and they come up to me and they remember the things that I said. They remember how I taught them. They remember, and they will remember you. And you will have an opportunity to go and touch lives as you can every day. And those of you who aren't in education who decided to join us, it's okay. You can learn from this experience because the leadership that Dr. Davis will talk about today will be something you can apply in your area. So we're excited that you're here tonight. We look forward to a wonderful journey, a wonderful trip. Thank you for joining us. I just want to say thank you to all of the people who are here. The Proctor family is here. The president is here and joined us. The provost is here to join us. And I see lots of faculty members here. So I appreciate you coming out. And I think Ms. Washington said some people from her church in Baltimore are also here. So I am thankful that you're here. Please sit back and enjoy. Thank you so much.
Evening, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. So we have greetings from Delegate Elizabeth, otherwise known as Susie Proctor, Maryland House of Delegates. Please come and join us.
Good evening, welcome, and thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time with us this evening. I believe, like most of us here, I think, that education is the key to maximizing our potential. There are so many educational opportunities today for our children, but some of them are challenged by the chaos in our world. So it is crucial that we continue gathering and developing strategies and ideas, finding ways to stimulate and encourage these young people. Hopefully, when you leave here this evening, you will have new ideas that will help us to have our students learn to crave knowledge. Thank you again for being here, so sit back and enjoy.
Greetings, everyone. We wanted to make sure we kept everyone on their toes, so we moved the agenda around just a tiny bit. I'd like to welcome Acting Provost and VP of Academic Affairs, Dr. Dielan Amusu. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm sure with the Dean that my president is here. While I welcome you, I want to welcome Dr. Bro to bring the greetings to the whole group. So Dr. Bro, please join us.
Good evening, Bowie State University. How are we doing? Good. So great to see all of you out tonight for this very, very important lecture. I want to welcome you, but I want to also give you a little bit of background about tonight. On this, you know what building you're in, right? Yeah. All right. And therefore, I hope you recognize what the Proctor State University. Tonight is just one of the many nights that the Proctor family is here. They have been here for many years supporting BSU. Not just this facility that you're in and making sure that you students especially have what you need to learn and to grow, but ensuring that generations to come have what they need. This is what it means to be a bulldog, that you continue to make the place better than the way you found it, and that's what the Proctor family has done year over year. I'm very privileged and honored that we have the Proctor family here with us. Delegate Susie Proctor, who served in the House of Delegates here in Annapolis in Maryland, and she continues to support her alma mater here at BSU. We have with us also Stephanie Proctor Williams, who has been a strong supporter, and the main reason why we are here tonight with this lecture, we have continued to provide this lecture year over year, making sure that you, our students, are able to hear about the most current issues facing our educators today. For those of you majoring in education, I especially want to applaud you because you're entering into a profession that is sorely needed. There are so many issues that are facing our young children today, and in your hands will be their lives and a future generation, so I applaud you all. I am a individual who has known education through my own experiences. My father was a high school educator, and growing up in my family, education came first. He was also a coach of Olympic athletes, and although he was a coach of Olympic athletes, what always came for him first was education. Get your education and then go and do anything else you want to do. So I bring to you as the president of BSU that history. And I want you to know each and every day I'm getting up to ensure that you have what you need. I went on to get my PhD in counseling psychology. And are there any social scientists in the room? We need you more than ever. And we need you all to partner with our educators and with every segment of our society. Mental health and issues facing our society are at an unprecedented level. So I'm so glad that you all are here today to hear from our speaker and to share what you learned here. Don't just keep it to yourself. Go out and share it with the rest of the campus and with the world. I do want to welcome our special guest, our keynote speaker, Dr. Eric Davis. Thank you for taking time out to be a part of today's lecture. Please give him a round of applause. And thank you to our educators in here. Are there some educators from other school districts and just different organizations across the county, non-BSU, not employees, but teaching in the county? Any educators in the county or throughout other counties? Raise your hands. Educators in the room, where are you? Okay, give them a round of applause. You're a bashful group. I know you're not bashful in the classroom, right? And to our own faculty, I'd like to see a show of hands for our own faculty in the room. Please raise your hands. Give them a round of applause. Thank you for what you do each and every day to educate our students, to ensure that they have what they need to succeed beyond completion of their degrees. And with that, a special welcome to Bowie State University. Let's get underway with the lecture. Thank you.
Why are we here? We'll have an occasion by Stephanie Proctor Williams, daughter of James E. Proctor Jr.
Thank you very much. I am absolutely thrilled to be here tonight. If my count is right, this is the 7th convening of the James E. Proctor Jr. Forum on Education and Leadership. Now, over the years, we've tinkered a bit with the name and with the format, but we have never wavered from the commitment to the work. Dr. Bro, Dean Jetter, Dr. Foose, I know she's here somewhere, but she's in and out. Mrs. Washington, I saw here too. And everyone, Dr. Foose is there. I've lost Mrs. Washington, but I know she's here. Thank you all for your commitment to bringing this to fruition year after year. And this year has expanded it even more. So we thank you. I just want to share briefly awarded the Senator Matt Mathias Award. This is an award that is presented to a member of the Maryland House of Delegates annually. And it's a delegate who embodies the spirit of collaboration and a willingness to reach across the aisle and work with persons with whom their viewpoints may differ. But that collaboration is necessary to serve the needs of the great state of Maryland. Now, if we think about what we've seen lately, some of the strife that communities past and present have been dealing with, the quite frankly spectacle that we saw in Congress, in our own U.S. Congress a few weeks ago, and the divisiveness that is finding its way to our schoolhouse steps. We need more leaders like Senator Mathias and Delegate James Proctor. Fortunately, I am convinced that there are many such leaders in this room today. I believe that our future is brighter because of the work that all of you are doing here at BSU, and we are grateful for that. I'm also thrilled this evening to have an opportunity to hear from a dear friend of mine, former colleague, Dr. Eric Davis, is going to speak to us about leadership maturity as he continues us on our journey, yet another stepping stone in the journey of the James E. Proctor Jr. Forum on Leadership and Education. Thank you, and I can't wait for the rest of the evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Do we have a representative from Varsity Tutors for Schools? Give you 8-second wait time. We'll move to our next agenda item. That is introducing our keynote speaker. Dr. Eric Davis' experience in education is broad and deep. Over 32 years in public education, he has held strategic leadership positions from building to district levels across rural and urban school districts. His education career began with Lynchburg City Schools in 1990 as a third grade teacher, a man after my own heart. He went on to serve in roles such as assistant principal, before leaving the school system and relocated to Montgomery County, Maryland. He also served as assistant superintendent for Wilson County Public Schools in North Carolina and chief of administration for Hartford County Public Schools, Maryland. In addition to the book that we'll discuss this evening, he is author of the widely acclaimed book, I Hear You Knocking, But You Can't Come In, a framework for creating a welcoming environment in schools. Dr. Davis has a bachelor's degree in education from St. Paul's College, a master's degree in educational leadership from Lynchburg College, and a doctoral degree in educational leadership from Liberty University. In his spare time, Dr. Davis loves fitness, and you'll also find him enjoying a time with his grandchildren. Here to discuss leadership maturity, creating a culture through introspection and reflection. Please welcome author Dr. Eric Davis.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. How are we doing? You can do better than that. How are we doing this evening? Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here today. You know, this is very special. I love coming out to different venues to talk about leadership. I especially want to thank the staff here just for providing that welcoming arm to me, and then the Proctor family. Just reading and hearing about all of the wonderful things that your father did just lets me know that he blazed the way for educators like me. So can we give him another round of applause? So you heard a little bit about my background. And again, I've been doing this now for 32 years. Hard for me to say that. 32 years I've been doing this. Seems like just yesterday. And throughout the course of that time, as you heard, I've worked in 3 different states and 4 different school districts. And as you can probably imagine, during that time, I've had an opportunity to work with so many leaders, literally thousands of leaders over my career. And probably about 11 years ago, I started really looking at this concept of leadership maturity. And really looking at those strategies, those actions, those characteristics that leaders convey, they implement, that provide a positive school and office culture. And lots of times when I come out and I meet with groups, I'm always asked the question, what is leadership maturity? What is it? It's when someone looks at your leadership and they see a person who is leading for a purpose rather than leading for their title. Now that was so good, I got to say it again. A person who's leading for their purpose rather than leading for their title. All right, you got me, leadership maturity. So Eric, what does introspection and reflection have to do with creating a positive school and office culture? Well, I would argue you can't make someone else feel welcome if you don't feel good about yourself. So you have to commit to working on you. And I've been doing this, as mentioned, for 32 years, but I go out now and I do these presentations all over the country. I meet with school board members, principals, different leaders. And there are 2 questions I always ask when I start this journey about leadership maturity. What is your purpose? Right? What is your purpose? And who inspired it? And if you ask me that question, I would share with you that the person, it's not advancing. The person who inspired my purpose is my father. It's my dad. Now, just a little bit about my dad. My dad was a janitor for 50 years. He died of myeloma cancer back in 2009. And I remember going to work with him and seeing him pull down the fluorescent light bulbs, break them over his knee and stuff them in the trash bag. And the doctors believed that that somehow contributed to his condition. Some of my the fondest memories are when I got home from school, going to work with my dad to clean buildings. And I didn't know it back then, but my purpose was being molded. My purpose was being shaped. And one of the things that my dad always told me, he said, Eric, you never look down on anyone unless you're giving them a hand up. You never look down on anyone unless you're giving them a hand up. Loved my dad. So fast forward to my first year teaching, and you heard I taught 3rd grade, and I was still living at home. and I was getting ready for work, my first day of work. My mom was making me sandwiches like I was in kindergarten. And my dad said some words to me that I'll never forget. They were so profound. And now at the time, they went in one ear and out the other. But with the wisdom of hindsight and reflection, I can see that this man was brilliant. You know what he told me? He said, hold it in the road. 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 So what he was saying was to keep the car on the metaphorical road that I and my parents had worked so hard to pave with so many opportunities, because he knew with one swerve, I could lose everything. Hold it in the road. So the first thing that I would tell you to do when you're starting down this whole journey of leadership is to know your purpose. All right, now it's time to go into deep water. All right, so let's, can you do that with me? Are you ready to go into deep water with me? Yeah. All right, let's go. Changing the mental picture in your mind. Wow. You know, as leaders, we experience failure every single day, don't we? Every single day. And especially when you think back during COVID, oh my goodness. It was a lot, right? It was a lot. Failure every single day. And if you're not careful, as a leader, you will start believing that narrative from the failure. So much so that when you look in the mirror, you don't even recognize who you see. Now, I'm going to share something with you. In every group that I meet with, I always share this because I think it's important to let you know who you're talking to. I have always experienced debilitating anxiety all my life. Now, you couple that with failure, and it exacerbates and magnifies any issue that you're going through. And literally, there is a voice, a little monster, sitting on your shoulder, whose only job is to tell you, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You don't belong in the position that you're in. You know, my mother, 84 years old, one of the most positive people you ever want to meet, my mom. She retired from school teaching 39 years. About a year and a half ago, my mother called me. I live in Maryland, she's in Lynchburg, Virginia, called me down to meet with her because she was so depressed. Now, I mentioned to you my dad passed away back in 2009, so she's been by herself about 14, 15 years. And she was sitting with me and talking to me. She says, Eric, you go out and you do motivational talks and you encourage and inspire people. Do you have any advice for me? That's what my mama was asking me. And I'm almost embarrassed to tell y'all what I told her. I told her to get on Facebook. Look, that's what y'all do, right? That's what I told her. So fast forward, about a month, I go back to Maryland. I get a call from my mother thanking me. Listen, that's a true story. Thanking me. I'm like, all right, what are you thanking me for, Mom? You gave me some great advice. I got on Facebook, and I met a 90-year-old gentleman. Listen, and we're getting married. On August the 5th, I walked my mother down the aisle and gave her away. I walked my mama down the aisle and gave her away. Now listen. Look, after the dust settled, look, and after all the craziness and everything, I pulled my mom to the side. I said, I told you to get on Facebook. I didn't tell you to get married. Look. You know what she told me? She said, Eric, I got more years behind me than I got in front of me. I want to live. That's what she told me. She went from a cup that was half empty to a cup that's now running over. Right? Just by changing the mental picture in her mind. And she drew that line in the sand and said, not today. I am better than this. And you know, there's a quote that I absolutely love. And it's from arguably one of the greatest basketball players to ever lace up a pair of Nikes. Really, he is. And what he says is, I have failed over and over and over again, but that is why I succeed. So wait a minute. So wait a minute, Michael Jordan. So what you're telling us is the reason why you are successful is because of your failures. You ever heard that song, God Bless the Broken Road That Led Me Straight to You? Which means that on your leadership journey, before you get to that end destination, you might have a little egg on your face. On your leadership journey, before you get to that place where you were destined to be, you might not get that job that you applied for. You know, in Harford County Public Schools, I work with many teachers. I mentor teachers. And this one particular teacher who's in my mind, who applied for a U.S. Department of Education fellowship, okay? Now, she sent her application in, and there were thousands of people across the country who submitted their application. And it came down to the top 6 out of thousands of people. She thought she had it. I thought she had it. We all thought she had it. And then she got that letter that says, we regret to inform you that you didn't make the cut. But thank you for getting this far. Well, she had put so much work into that application. She was so upset. And she called me up and she said, Eric, she said, this is really bothering me. Could we meet on Teams and just do a virtual meeting so we could just talk? I said, sure, you know, because I mentored her. So when we get on the Teams meeting, she says, Eric, do you have any advice for me? Do you know what I should do? Well, I didn't tell her to get on Facebook. No, but here's what I did tell her. I thank God for every door that was closed on me throughout my career. Because if they were not closed, I would not be sitting in front of you today. Every setback is a set up for something greater. And you have to believe that. You have to believe that. Because when you think about leadership, right? And when we go back to what we shared before about not being able to make someone else feel welcome if you don't feel welcome yourself. Leaders impact the moments of the people they are around, don't they? They do. They do. By show of hands, has anyone ever felt like they had to walk on eggshells? Not fun, is it? You know, there's a movie that focuses on leadership, all right? And listen, y'all, I've been looking for different movie clips. I have, but I can't find one that's better than this. It's fantastic, and you'll see when I show it to you. Now, watch, it won't play, but anyway, it's from Remember the Titans. You remember that movie? Denzel Washington. Now, see, some of y'all had you when I said Denzel Washington. I see you. Plays Coach Boone for T.C. Williams High School. All right? And his one job was to take the black players and the white players, bring them together and make a team. And this next clip that I'm going to share with you, to me, is the essence of the culture of leadership and how leaders set the tone. All right? And yes.
Gary, you're Julius. Let's get some particulars and just get this over with, all right? Particulars? Yeah.
No matter what I tell you, you ain't gonna never know nothing about me.
Hey, listen, I ain't running any more of these 3 days, okay?
What I got to say, you really don't want to hear, because honesty ain't too high on your people's priority list, right?
Honesty? You want honesty? All right, honestly, I think you're nothing. Nothing but a pure waste of God-given talent. You don't listen to nobody, man. Not even Doc or Boone. Shipper push on the line every time and you blow right past them. Push them, pull them, do something. You can't run over everybody in this league. And every time you do, you leave one of your teammates hanging out to dry. Me in particular.
Why should I give a hoot about you? Huh? Or anybody else out there? You want to talk about the ways you the captain, right?
Right.
Captain's supposed to be the leader, right?
Right.
You got a job?
I have a job.
You been doing your job?
I've been doing my job.
Then why don't you tell your white buddies to block for Red better? Because they have not blocked for him or for Plum Nickel, and you know it. Nobody plays, yourself included. I'm supposed to wear myself out for the team? What team? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look out for myself, and I'm going to get mine.
See, now, that's the worst attitude I ever heard.
Attitude reflects leadership, Captain.
Wow. That powerful? Attitude reflects leadership. Because it's all about psychological safety, isn't it? Psychological safety is everything. You know, somebody said to me once, they said the litmus test of psychological safety is how you feel on Sunday evenings. Do you have a pit in your stomach, or do you have a song in your heart? Psychological safety is everything. And so when we think about leadership actions that foster psychological safety. What are some of those actions? Now, this is where we interact with each other a little bit, okay? I'm gonna ask you to talk to an elbow partner and just talk about those actions that you know leaders implement to create that environment of psychological safety. Take about 2 minutes, go. So what was wrong with it? Yeah, it's good now. Take about 30 more seconds. All right, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Now listen, would anyone, and it's always hard to bring groups back because this stuff is therapeutic, isn't it? It is. When you get to talking about this stuff, it is, right? Anybody like to share anything that they talked about with their elbow partner? Anybody? Yes.
I was thinking through the lens of attachment style. So for someone that may be portraying an anxious attachment style, like they would maybe need from their manager a lot of feedback or some type of interaction to let them know how they're doing.
So constant feedback, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. That's good. Who? Oh, could you? Yes, absolutely. We got the. Thank you. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
I was just saying, I was thinking through the lens of attachment styles. For example, if an employee is exemplifying an anxious attachment style, that they might need constant feedback from their managers or supervisors.
Yeah, that's great. Excellent job. Thank you. Another? Any others? Ooh, I love it. Being honest and keeping everyone well informed. Right. Very good. Yes.
Empathy.
Ooh, empathy. Yes, I love it. Others? Yeah.
Emotional maturity, not always losing control when something goes your way.
Emotional maturity, not always losing control when something doesn't go your way. Nice. I love it. Others? Yeah. Well, say that again.
You have to always remain positive, consistent positivity.
Ooh, consistent positivity. I love it. Fantastic. Always remaining positive. Yes, ma'am.
Humility.
Ooh.
Always being able to do something that you want someone else to do.
Yes. Ooh, just being able to roll up your sleeves and just do it, right? Oh my gosh, I love it. See, these are good. You know, all it took is just one or two, and then it gets rolling. Any others? Yeah.
Showing genuine interest in the people that you're working with.
Showing genuine interest in the people that you're working with. Okay. Yeah. Honesty. Yeah, honesty. Can't beat honesty, right? Any others? All right, in the back. Self-awareness, right? Self-awareness, being aware of who you are. And that kind of goes back to that introspective piece, right? All right, one more. Yes. Recognition. Celebration, acknowledgement, recognition. Fantastic. Yes. Excellent job. Those were great. Thank you so much, guys. Give yourselves a big hand. Yeah. And I told you, it is therapeutic when you talk about that type of thing, right? Because, I mean, you start thinking about how you interact with leaders or just what makes you tick, and then you get into it. You want to know my custom definition of psychological safety? I need to give you a visualization. All right? You want to hear it? Yeah. So here's my visualization of psychological safety. All right? So imagine you are about to go on a road trip. Okay? Now, in your car, you've got some of your closest friends or family members. And while you're in the car on this road trip, that song you love comes on the radio. And even though you can't sing, you start singing anyway. And the reason you feel safe enough to do that, because the environment in that car is risk-free and safe. And you feel free to be your authentic self. That, my friends, is psychological safety. So in the book that I wrote, I talk about, these actions, these strategies, these characteristics that we come up with that create a positive school and office culture. And so today I'm just going to give you 3. All right, but these are the ones. I call them the big 3. Because if you do these as a leader, I promise you, the culture will change just like that. Some of you are saying, yes, this is what I came here for. This is it. Now, here's what I need you to do before I share it, okay? The first one, and these get progressively more difficult as they go along for leaders. I need you to get your cameras out, your notepads, get ready to take a screenshot because I'm dropping pearls today, okay? No, I am. Listen, this first one is profound, all right? And it's a lot to take in. So are you ready for this? Are you sure? The first one right here. Get out of the way. One of the biggest extinguishers of innovation is when you micromanage. And when you get out of the way, what you're telling people is I trust you. And what you are inspiring them to be is an improved version of themselves just by getting out of the way. Many years ago, 20-some years ago when I was a principal, all right, I remember I just had to be involved in everything. There wasn't a parent meeting, a student assembly. There wasn't any. I had to be involved in it. All right? I had to plan it. And you know why I had to plan it as a young leader? Because I was too afraid to let anybody else get the credit. Leaders with leadership maturity pour into the people that they lead and give them opportunities to shine. That's what leaders with leadership maturity do. In my current role right now, and I mentioned I meet with teachers all the time. I love developing teachers. And I meet with all of our Teacher of the Year finalists. We got 5 every year, and I've been doing it for the last 5 years since I've been in Harford County Public Schools. And I bring the teachers in, and this first group, they called themselves the Fab Five, all right? They did. Well, listen, the second group was the Quarantine Five. Well, you know why that is. The third group was 5 Times Stronger. The fourth group was the Community Team, and this group now is the Summit Squad, all right? So they get into this. But that first group that I brought in, I wanted to really see, these were your best of the best teachers. And I wanted to hear from them. And so they didn't know why I was asking them to come in for a meeting, because they were going to meet with the chief of administration. And they were a little nervous, like, okay, what does this guy want with us? So I called them in, and we're meeting in my office. And I give them a big sheet of poster paper. All right, big sheet of poster paper. And I said, we have a lot of work to do in the area of parent engagement in our school district. And you all are the best of the best. I need you to brainstorm some ideas and some strategies for us to implement in our school district. And I'm going to leave the room. I left the room for 30 minutes. When I came back, they had a list. Now, they were nervous because they thought, all right, yeah, right, whatever. You're not going to listen to us. And I start going down the list. The first one was create a cheat sheet or a bookmark for parents when they come in for parent-teacher conferences, questions that parents could ask their child's teacher. And I'm thinking, that's pretty good. The second one was to create a resource guide or a booklet for new teachers to help them work with families and do parent-teacher conferences. The third was to do lessons on YouTube, online, those difficult topics that parents can't navigate by themselves without assistance from the teacher, and then have that up readily available to assist with instruction. And I thought, wow, this is fantastic. We implemented all of those strategies in our district, and we are better for it. Innovation happens when leaders get out of the way. You ready for the second one? Yeah. This is good, right? Here it is. Now remember, okay, hold on. All right, you ready? One more time. These get progressively more hard, more difficult. Here they go. My man said positivity, didn't he? He said it. Be intentional with positivity. So wait a minute. So hold on, Eric. You come on. You had me at that. But really, intentional positivity? How many of you all just love being around positive people? It's just something about positive people, right? They extinguish negativity. And I always share this, my director of transportation in my school district is one of the most, she is just fantastic. The most positive people you ever want to meet. Now, I always say, she is the person who could make an inclement weather phone call at 3 a.m. in the morning a positive experience. All right? No, seriously, we all get on, and we're all like, hello, hello. And she's like, hello! And just brightens up everything. And it changes the tone of the entire phone call by being positive. Just to kind of show you how this works when we talk about being intentional. Last year, and I shared with you guys at the beginning, I experienced anxiety. And it was just one of those moments, one of those days where I just got up and the bottom just dropped out. And I don't know, many of you haven't had days like that. But this particular day, I was feeling it. And I had back-to-back meetings. I had a meeting with all of my senior leaders and different meetings leading up to a Board of Education meeting that night. So there was this anxiety that I was experiencing, all right? And it was weighing on me. And when I got to work, I was just, it was just like heavy. It was heavy on me. And I walked into my office, and on my keyboard, I see this little yellow envelope. And it must have come in through interoffice mail on Friday. My assistant had put it there for me to see on Monday. So I went over to it, and I opened it up. And again, I got the weight of the world on me. I got it with me right now, all right? And I opened it. It said, "You are human sunshine." Now listen, no, it gets better. I opened it, handwritten now. "Dear Eric, thank you for the positive impact you continue to have on our school system." Now here's the last part here that got me. "I appreciate you." Now, this took 2 minutes, right? I hadn't talked to this principal probably months, all right? But she found it in her heart to get up one morning, write me a note, put it in her office mail, and then go on about her day. What was a small thing to her meant the world to me. I was so happy, I was actually looking forward to going to the board meeting that night. And as you can see, it still impacts me. When you are intentional with positivity, the anxiety levels go down and the psychological safety goes up. Being intentional with positivity. Now, here's my last one that I got to share with you. And this is, I saved the hardest for the last. You ready? Yep. Model courage. Wait a minute, Eric. How can model and courage impact school culture and climate? We do model courage all the time. We meet with parents, we meet with staff members, we demonstrate courage, not the type of courage that you think it is. This is the courage, if you've ever read any of Brene Brown's work, the courage to tell your story. Courage through vulnerability. Whoa, that's a little bit of a different spin on it. You know, my brother lives in Lynchburg, Virginia. Now, growing up, my brother, I looked up to my brother. He's 5 years older than me, all right? My brother didn't graduate from high school. He dropped out in 10th grade. He probably got kicked out, all right? But he went back, got his GED, and he's doing fine now. But now, I go home and I visit my brother back in Lynchburg. And you know, every time we go out to our friends, he introduces his little brother as his hero. He introduces his little brother as his hero. And that is, I gotta tell you, I mean, I feel some kind of way when he does that. Well, back in almost now 2 years ago, we had a tragedy in our family. My brother, his son, is 25 years old, passed away. Now, just to kind of give you some context for this, he came home and he told his mother, my sister-in-law, and his dad, my brother, to wake him up the next day to go to work at 7 o'clock. So his mother got up at 5 because something just wasn't sitting right in her soul. You know how that mother's intuition is, right? She went over to the door and jiggled it. The first red flag, it was locked. She called my brother to come over and jiggle the door open, and my brother hoisted the door open. And there was my nephew, laid out over the bed, dead. Someone had given him some fentanyl, and it shut everything down, just like that. Now, fast forward to the viewing. And if you have ever experienced anything like that, I don't wish that on anybody. I had my whole family with me, and we were in that waiting room before they opened the doors. And you don't quite know what you're going to see when those doors open. You just know it's not going to be good. And sure enough, when the doors open, there my nephew was, lying there lifeless. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. There was hollering. There was screaming. I mean, it was, and even when I reflect on it, I think about it, it was horrible. This was horrible, and I don't wish that on anybody. But in the midst of all of that craziness, I look over at my brother, the one who had just lost his son, leaned over the casket with grace and poise, and he was the one being strong for the rest of us. And at that moment, my little insecurities and anxieties seemed so insignificant. And the person that he called hero was now calling him hero. When you model courage through vulnerability, you empower and encourage other people to do the same. The anxiety levels go down, and the psychological safety goes up. Know your purpose. Change the mental picture in your mind, right? Get out of the way. Be intentional with positivity, and model courage through vulnerability. And if you do that, I promise you, you will be well on your way to being that leader who demonstrates leadership maturity. And the only thing left for you to do, is hold it in the road. Take care, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Very awesome.
Feel sorry for me to have to follow that. Feel sorry for me. Let's give another round of applause. Absolutely. Thank you. I took some notes here on being psychological safe. Do these big three things, and I can sing out loud in front of my colleagues. Yes. But thank you, Dr. Davis.
Thank you.
Very, very powerful. Thank you so much. I'm actually not the one to have to follow. It is our Vice President of Philanthropic Engagement, Brent Swinton. Thank you, sir.
So thank you again, Dr. Davis.
Thank you.
I ran out of ink. It is a tough spot being on this stage behind you. Thank you for that message.
Thank you.
Good evening, colleagues, Bruce State University. Again, my name is Brent Swinton, and I'm going to get out of the way very quickly. But I did want to come up and thank you all for coming to tonight's event. I want to thank the Proctor family for always leading the way and fulfilling that legacy left to us by James E. Proctor Jr. And I also want to make sure that we change the mental picture, because oftentimes we think, oh, okay, we're a public institution, so great events like this and all the wonderful things that are happening in our college, in our school of education, that they just are taken care of by the state, and it happen magically. And nothing could be further from the truth. What we want to do is to make sure that Bowie State University is not just surviving, but thriving for another 158 years. Right? We want to make sure that the psychological safety of our students now and in the future, that we can ensure that we are supporting our own institution with our personal dollars. And I'm not even asking for a lot out of your household, but I'm saying for each one of us, students, faculty, staff, alumni. Do we have any alumni in the house today? Okay, sorry, raise your hands proudly. All right, Bowie State alum, let's put your hands. We just want to make sure that we support our own by thinking about supporting the college education, and especially the James E. Proctor Jr. Endowment, which is supporting students here. So again, Brent Swinton, Philanthropic Engagement, and when you go on the Bowie State University website, please click Give and choose the endowment or the fund of your choice, because today's students need you and tomorrow's students need you. Thank you.
That's powerful. Thank you. And Dr. Davis, thank you for helping us keep notes. This is perfect. Right? I mean, I have my scribble scrabble, but I can't say I'll read it tomorrow very well. This is perfect. Thank you, sir. I want to give a quick shout out to those who joined us this evening. While we had some transition to the atrium, to the hallway, we had 120 people here in person. Yeah, thank you. Wait, plus 30, right? Plus 30. And we have 50 participants online. So this was a well-attended event. All right, thank you for all who joined us this evening. James E. Proctor III, son of James E. Proctor Jr. We are honored to have you close us out this evening. Thank you.
I prepared some written remarks, and I'm going to be somewhat brief, but some part I'm going to have to refer to because it refers to my father. And knowing this was a lecture on leadership, I had to kind of go back to one of those moments that initially took me up, which was as a person studying to certify as a 7 Habits leader, you had to imagine yourself and how you wanted people to think about you for your 80th birthday. And the reason why this choked me up was at that point in time, my father was kind of getting close to that age and things were kind of not going as well. So that kind of brought that thing to me. But now that I am a little bit further away from it, it makes it kind of easier to say these things that you were supposed to be thinking about from the 7 Habits thing program. And so the first thing is to live a life of integrity and authenticity and to have a solid moral compass. Well, everybody knows that my father gave back to Bowie. You know, he made it possible through his dedication to teaching to make this building possible. He wasn't doing it to have his name on it. Okay? And then, as a result of that, some teachers within this building took it a step farther. They now have a cohort out in Anne Arundel County, and they're not just talking about you young people right here who might be teachers a year from now, 5 years from now, but the 8th graders, so that we can build a cohort of future teachers, because if you're going to compete with all the other things, computer science, math, poli-sci, whatever it is, you got to get them young and get them engaged, or else they're already going to be on that track. So he did that. And the other thing that, you know, as far as that compass and giving from himself, was that of when he was in the community, he listened to people, and of course the one thing that he dreaded more than anything, we talked about the situation of losing your nephew. Well, as a teacher, as a principal, as a state official, he looked out at parents losing the loss of their child, not to drugs, but to the gravel pit, to the Tucson River. So what was this thing that drove him to the day he left this earth? Was to build an aquatic center in Brandywine, Maryland. So that was the way that he gave back. So the next thing I want to talk about, again from Stephen Covey, is the 7th habit, is to leave a positive impact on the world. And so when hosting this lecture series, Bowie State cultivates this, we know it's cultivated the power of positive leadership, and we just heard him saying this. And the final thing that I'm going to talk about, so I can be brief here, is that my father entered Bowie not as an 18-year-old, but as a person who already had children of his own, a person who had served 10 years in the military, had risen up the non-commissioned rank very highly. And so when he is talking to the 18 and 19-year-olds who he thought weren't performing up to academic standards, weren't exhibiting the maturity that he felt the students should be doing, he literally took the time, and he said courageously, and pulled them aside and says, you guys need to do better. Now, how do I know about this? Is because some of these men in their 70s came up to me right here on campus. So that is, in conclusion, one of the things that you're talking about is to grow that community and to bring back, give back, and to make people feel engaged. So as we bring this lecture to a close, I just want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank Bowie for their role in building on this lecture. And with that, good night.
Thank you so very much. Give another round of applause for Dr. Davis for joining us this evening. Thank you. The Proctor family, we are overjoyed to continue to celebrate James and Proctor Jr.'s legacy. Thank you. And you give us, I got goosebumps saying that, you give us, you know, the energy to continue in this space. It's American Education Week, good family. Please, everyone, please make sure that you thank an educator. But wait, not just a teacher, someone who teaches anything, through mentoring, through your classroom, through after school program, through writing, just thank an educator, right? And so with that said, it's just, there's food upstairs.
There's food outside for everyone, and there's a VIP reception upstairs for our speaker and
What the dean said, food outside for everyone, for our guests, and VIP, come on upstairs to the 2nd floor. Thank you and have a good night.